Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the Stanley Show and this is your boy Stanley Mauli. And then the content number it's based on a line from a song. So before we go to that line, in the year 2019, Ghanaian musicians released some dope albums. Some of the albums are Live from Nkrumah Crew Volume 2 by Kwesi Arthur, Time by Kelvin Boy, I think As Promised by Ken Promised, Side 15 by R2Bs, Pragmatic released an album, Kojo Q's For My Brothers, and Back to Pasco, Back to Manaba, Pasapa. Ghanaian musicians really outdid themselves in 2019, but your year was overshadowed by, I wouldn't say overshadowed, but well, it was definitely overshadowed by Burna Boy's album release, because that album was what catapulted him into the limelight. So Ghana's, we have established the say Ghanaian artists brought out dope albums. For me, the one that stood out was Kojo Q's For My Brothers, and it wasn't because of say the beats were extraordinary or anything, but it was because of the message that Kojo Q passed out in that album. Like every song on that album sought to pass out a message. Some are still relevant today. I don't know the ones that are irrelevant, but to me, a couple of those songs are still relevant today as we speak, especially track 1, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad. It goes like, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which dad's your dad, Kofi? Rich Dad Poor Dad, which dad you born now, you go be. So like when you listen to that Rich Dad Poor Dad song, it makes you wonder like the kind of life that you want to give to your kids, and it makes you appreciate the struggles that your parents, especially your father, is going through to make you be the man or be a better person in the future. It also makes you sit down and wonder like the trajectory of your life and how you want your life to end. So it's a very dope song, but there's one line in that song, and we will get back to it after this and you'll understand why. So on 26th June, which was I think Wednesday up to 27th, so a 2-day event, the NBA hosted their annual draft. I think there's a draft pick who said, I don't know, but during that event they select the best talent in the country. Teams in the NBA and have a choice to select the players that they want to play for them. Now, one of the news I breaky it overshadowed the entire draft thing was when LA Lakers picked LeBron James and Bronny James as the 55th pick. Now, it was news, but not news. News because they had really signed a kid. But it wasn't news because LeBron James, as most of us know, NBA royalty, a very talented NBA player. I would say the people say he's one of the most dominant players. If you pretending against Michael Jordan, made a Jordan here me GOAT, but most NBA players, past, present, and fans, are of the opinion say he's better than Michael Jordan. So that shows you the kind of person that he is. So LeBron James had expressed the desire, say Nebano drew, or he's at a positioner. He wants to play basketball with his son. The dream. People wouldn't understand it because, like in America, most black people or most black people grew up without fathers. LeBron James isn't the exception. He also grew up without a father in his life. Now, if so, LeBron James Abrabona, he is very outspoken when it comes to the love he has for his kids. He has done everything possible to maintain a two person-led family, a father and a mother, both present in the lives of his kids. Now, LeBron James expressed that I think somewhere last 2 years or last year. Me, I know it's the last year, and I'm going to say person in Banbo Bibo. So him saying that, people knew that definitely a team will try to draft his kid, and he, LeBron James, probably will go to that team, or vice versa, his team. So in the end, LeBron James team in the far crowd. Now, some are saying, say, in as much as said the kid is talented, we've seen he trains really well. He's been putting quite okay stats in college, They believe, say, the only reason why Lakers for a far Accra because of the fact sending Papa LeBron James, which they are not entirely wrong, because a factor for them, for the team, because LeBron James is I would say their current superstar, so they will do everything to make the superstar happy. So LeBron James isn't the only person who has benefited from the good standing that his father has in the society. Most rich people today have benefited from their parents or from family members who invested in their lives to make them who they are today. Now, Donald Trump, who was the president of the United States, I think he's the 45th president of the United States, came from a rich family. His father was a German American who made his money by running a restaurant for gold miners and a restaurant and a brothel for gold miners. Now, when Donald Trump was coming up, his father invested or gave him a loan of $1 million to start doing something, to start a business or something. Donald Trump later said that he paid the money back to his father because he became successful with that investment. He paid his father back. In 1971, ne papa Emmanuel, the president of his real estate business. As time went on, Trump started erecting towers. And uko US I think it's in New York, so baby, sir. We have the Trump Tower. It was built by Donald Trump. So his father invested in his life. Along the line, Donald Trump became the president of the United States. He became a billionaire. Then down the line, he became the president of the United States. He worked hard though, go school, he did his homework to become T. It didn't just fall out of the sky. We will be to say Mark Zuckerberg. So Mark Zuckerberg's mom is a psychiatrist. His dad is a dentist. He went to Harvard School. We all know, say, if you don't know, Mark Zuckerberg is a very, very intelligent guy. But he had parents who had resources to invest in his education, take him to the best of the best when it comes to schools, so that he will get certain knowledge that it isn't available to just anyone. He will get access to certain connections that just not everyone will have access to those connections. We also have Jeff Bezos. Currently, he's one of the wealthiest men on the planet right now. His stepfather, who is a Cuban American billionaire, billionaire, gave him his first investment to start the Amazon company, which at first now a book selling business, but the stepfather and the man, the first investment, the stepfather's name is Angel Bezos, Miguel Angel Bezos. On the man, first investment, a man that started the Amazon company. We also have stories like that littered across the whole world. Microsoft's Bill Gates His parents were rich. They invested in his life. They invested in his education. Omo man, she come and started up Microsoft company. No. The buyer Ghana Krana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. His father was a successful rice farmer who then became a member of parliament in Ghana's first republic. His father then went on to serve as Northern Regional Minister under Kwame Nkrumah. All these men, after the investment that they got in their lives, they still worked hard to be in the positions that they are currently in right now. The line in the say, Yɛwo to see so I want tenten, which translates into English: if you are born into privilege, or if you are born into a situation of advantage, it doesn't take you long to become successful. Yɛwo to see so I want tenten. Now all these people were born into privilege. Yes, they worked really hard, but we have a lot of people who worked equally hard or much more harder than they have ever worked in their lives, but they are not as successful as these people are. Now, when you listen to Rich Dad Poor Dad, as I said, which dad you born and you could be. At times, we make certain statements like, nananom bimu nananom pensas na nananom de omo tikwaye mu yeden chenam omo tikwaye mu. We say a whole lot of stupid things, but we forget to realize right now no yenso so ye nkrofo nananom me nana kansoa ya me fa ne kransi enyini like opensas gu ho mano. In as much as sense as mega say ne nana ne mani share down call invest ne nana council share down call invest once as so she still left things for her kids or for her descendant. Isi so ne wo moto ye me ma mu ko school ye yi and is about me ma anko university that reason being she got pregnant when she was a teenager. And to all children was in no Kumasi girls in time, she was pregnant with me. But ne mame and then Nanamo invest in her life, ne papa mo invest in her life by taking her to school. And from all accounts, she was a very, very brilliant woman. Like, I'm not capping. She was a very intelligent woman. Now, my dad, from what I've heard, Wambetuni Papa, but Nani Mame, Echigari, came from a very poor background. Like, at times, what kind of story I will know is you, baby, I know free ne. But the mom invested in his life, took him to school, ne bra penny boa no man call SHS or in Timianko University. Things that he wasn't really as brilliant as my mom. I know you're brilliant, but he was a hard worker. My mom is a very hardworking woman, but my dad, uncle, he's hardworking, hardworking. So he says a Sasuban that hardworking spirit, so you're free the mom anymore. So the mom invested in his life by making or tell no man by you be or breathful. So me papa enyini on mama awo baby o mendu no mama o momba mienu atra osisi ha me we university di machin so nyambo adisi nyangopon de no be wi asomdwem. Sisi onus ne da meni de ya ewe university ni so ene omo ba na definitely nyambe bo omo so ewe university no se omo di achi ni so we den e betra ba bia ye wo no definitely escafo no ma sisia no Nyankopon ama omo me fan say esie na no omo Yɛwo omo to so no omo so awo omo ma so ato esie bi so a definitely will take years for maybe a descendant ebeto omo, but I'm a firm believer say Nyankopon etimi ade nyina ye me tell this year obetimi mama ye the world's richest person in the world say ne person me ya, but if say any person me ye at this moment probably me bomb me home modern edru baby ametimi ama me ma edru a certain atmosphere, a certain level along the line, maybe 3, 4, 14 generations down the line, you will also become wealthy people. So we should understand that one, it takes hard work for someone to be successful. 2, most successful people in this world right now came from a place of success. 3, them coming from a place of success doesn't negate the hard work that they did. 4, sudie da ye meni wumi no so say yen so ye ma will get to a certain level they can also build upon their lives. I don't know the segment, what I'll call this segment or what I'll call this show, but me talking to you, I think so you get the point that I'm trying to put across. So yeah, let's work hard so that our kids will have a better future or have a better chance of succeeding or becoming better than us, just as our parents did everything in their power to take us to a level Shout outs to our parents, shout outs to my mom, shout outs to my dad. God bless you guys for doing everything in your power to put us on this level. I really appreciate you guys. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed the show. Bye bye. Oh,